Clarissa has been taken advantage of her whole life. She's been boxing since forever. I don't know her childhood, but I do know that her best friend who grew up with her came out and made some rather disturbing videos about Clarissa being taken advantage of when she was younger as a young boxer by her coaches and getting pregnant and things like this. And so when I see people like Papoose enter the Cash App requesting money from people like Clarissa, after Remy has already warned us that, he preyed on her when she was in jail. He wasn't making no money. It was Remy's money. And she said she put everything in his name only to come out and then have to work. And then he's getting the benefit of the solid black man, of the black man that's holding everything down. So when I look at this same thing possibly being done to Clarissa, and she's slow by default, and I'm talking about slow as in, she probably got some early stage, some issues going on, being knocked around, it does have an effect on your brain and on your cognitive thinking and stuff, and you're not able to see straight. And if she was already taken advantage of by her coaches, surely it's easier for a bum like this to come in and take advantage of her too. And so when I saw his latest post after her fight, after he let her get out the car with that Beyonce butched outfit on, I was a little disturbed by that, because I said any man in their right mind would have told their woman, no. We're not going to post the outfit just so we can reiterate and y'all can bash her for how awful she looks. But her man let her get out the car like that, okay? And then he was her hype man beside her. And so after she won, again, she's undefeated, he decided to take credit.
According to Tasha K, Clarissa Shields has been taken advantage of by people around her for a long time.
You know what? I'll be real for a second. I used to really root for Papoose. I thought people were being too harsh on him, and that he didn't deserve all the hate. And honestly, a part of me still feels that way. But lately, something just feels off. You ever get that gut feeling that something's not right, even when you can't quite explain why? Yeah, that's exactly how this whole thing feels to me. Ever since Papoose started dating Clarissa Shields, his vibe has completely changed. Now don't get me wrong, Clarissa's a powerhouse. She's talented, confident, and doing amazing things for herself. She's beautiful too, no doubt about it. But if you look closely at the pattern, things start to get a little interesting. Papoose went from being with Remy Ma, another strong, successful woman, to Clarissa, who's also well off and respected in her own lane. It's making people wonder if his choices are really about love, or if there's something more behind them. At first, I brushed it off. I figured he was just moving on after Remy. But now that Clarissa's back in the spotlight after her big win, it's hard not to notice that Papoose is conveniently right there beside her again. Even Tasha K, who's known for stirring things up, mentioned it, and for once, she might actually have a point. According to Tasha K, Clarissa Shields has been surrounded by people who've used her for their own benefit, including some of her former trainers. She said Clarissa has faced a lot of challenges, even fighting while pregnant, showing just how tough and determined she really is. Recently, after Clarissa's big victory in the ring, Papoose posted a long message congratulating her. He praised her for being an incredible athlete, saying, "You gave a boxing masterclass. The way you balance family and still chase greatness is inspiring." At first, the post sounded sweet and supportive. But then Papoose added something that made people raise their eyebrows. He wrote, "I'm glad I could add value behind the scenes as part of your team. Special thanks to my Win Records family." That small part caught Tasha K's attention. She pointed out that instead of keeping the focus on Clarissa's success, he seemed to use her big moment to promote himself, and fans definitely noticed.
What is a behind-the-scenes executive standpoint? What does that position entail? Exactly. What behind the scenes? Clarissa was winning before she met you, but because she been getting knocked around by people and by her coaches, I just feel like Papoose is a virus that just refuses to let his hair just fall out. And he sees black women the same way that Tyler Perry does. Wants to take credit. And then from a behind-the-scenes executive standpoint, meanwhile, you the main person causing the problems. You won't get a job.
All right, let's be real for a second. I had to sit back and really look at what's going on with Papoose and Clarissa Shields, because the whole thing just feels a little off. Now, nobody really sees Papoose as some big executive or business mastermind. Sure, he's got a job over at TuneCore, and from what people say, he probably makes around $200,000 a year as the head of hip-hop. That's respectable money, but let's not pretend he's running his own empire. At the end of the day, he still works for somebody else. So when he starts calling himself an executive in Clarissa's boxing career, it raises eyebrows. His background is in music, not sports management. How does that even connect? It's like someone running a small music studio and suddenly thinking they can manage a world champion boxer. It doesn't line up. What it really looks like is that Papoose might be getting a little too involved in Clarissa's business, maybe trying to mix romance with money. And if that's true, then it says something deeper about where he's at in life. Because honestly, if a man is financially stable and secure in his lane, he's not trying to profit off his partner's success. He's building his own. The problem is, Clarissa doesn't really benefit from stepping into his world. From the outside, it doesn't seem like he's built much that she could add to. That's where the imbalance starts. Now, let's not forget what Remy Ma, his ex, once said. She hinted that Papoose wasn't really handling his business like a grown man should. At first, people thought she was being harsh. But now, looking at how this is playing out, maybe she had a point. There's a pattern here, and it's not a flattering one. Every time you see Papoose, he's right behind Clarissa, cheering her on, showing up to events, doing interviews about her. It's sweet on the surface, but it starts to feel like he's more focused on staying in her spotlight than building his own. And at his age, he's in his 40s now, you'd expect him to have his priorities straight, his finances in order, and his career locked down. Instead, it looks like he's clinging to the success of the women he dates. Now, don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with supporting your woman. But there's a fine line between being supportive and being dependent. When a woman realizes she's the only one pushing the relationship forward, emotionally, financially, or professionally, her respect for the man starts to fade. She begins to wonder what he's actually bringing to the table. That's probably what happened with Remy. She stopped seeing him as her equal. And the way things are going, Clarissa might end up feeling the same way. If you're in your 40s and still trying to ride someone else's wave instead of creating your own, that's a red flag. A real man builds his own lane and brings value to the table. You don't chase your partner's success just to stay relevant. You grow with them by growing yourself. Let's talk facts. Most men who are grinding and building something don't have time to be in their partner's shadow 24/7. If Papoose is truly an executive, why is he constantly on the road with Clarissa? Shouldn't he be too busy managing his own business? His constant presence beside her doesn't scream executive, it screams assistant. And that's not a good look. It's also no secret that Clarissa's career is booming. She's undefeated, she's in the public eye, she's got sponsorships, and she's getting paid. Compared to that, Papoose's TuneCore job doesn't really measure up financially. That power imbalance is what's making people question his intentions. And look, even though Tasha K is known for being dramatic, she might be onto something this time. She suggested that Clarissa might be getting used, emotionally and financially. That doesn't sound far-fetched when you look at the pattern. Let's not forget, there have been rumors that Papoose struggled with gambling in the past. Word is, he even lost an expensive watch that belonged to Remy because of it. If that's true, then he's got a history of poor money decisions. That's not something that just disappears over time. So when people see him close to Clarissa, who's clearly doing well for herself, it's fair to wonder if he's trying to secure his position more than he's trying to build a partnership. Now, to be clear, this isn't about tearing anyone down. But patterns matter. When you go from one successful woman to another, and both of them end up questioning your motives, at some point you have to ask, what's the common denominator? Maybe Papoose really loves Clarissa. Maybe he's genuinely proud of her, and wants to help however he can. But maybe, just maybe, he's also trying to stay relevant by being connected to her. There's a difference between being a partner and being a passenger. And right now, it's looking a little too much like the latter. So here's the real question. Is Papoose truly in love with Clarissa? Or is he just trying to hold onto the lifestyle and exposure that come with being next to a rising star? Because when the lights fade, the truth usually shows. Let me know what you'll think about this. Do you believe Papoose is genuine, or is he playing the same game he did before? It's your boy O.D. Jackson back again with another deep dive. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more real talk. Until next time, keep your eyes open, your circle tight, and your business solid.